This is part 37 of our Minish Cap walkthrough, and we'll be wrapping up our trip through the Temple of Droplets here with the boss fight.
You know, one thing is we've kind of gone like farther and farther along in this dungeon. Like, I find myself liking it more, actually. Like, the first time I played the game wasn't, you know, I was so on it. But this time around, I don't know, I just really like it. I guess the, like, I don't know, the water and the ice coming together, it just, I don't know, I just like it.
It worked out well. What I kind of found myself when I was going back and reviewing this actually for our commentary, I'd forgotten how much darkness there was in that previous area.
There was a lot.
And I actually found myself liking it a little bit less, believe it or not. So because I loved this the first time through, but going back and rewatching some of those parts, I'm like, this is awful.
Well, they take the flame lantern and they use it for two things. They use it for the dark rooms, obviously, but they also use it to melt ice. So, like, you know, in most games, actually, in almost every single game, I guess, like, we really never use it to melt ice.
No, not hardly at all.
I can think of, like, a flame lantern. So, like, this is the first time it's been used in that way.
And I thought that was a creative use
for it, I mean, just when you can do two different things with an item, I mean, just
it makes it more useful than just a light
stuff. It makes it a little bit more fun.
Yeah, and I will say I was actually a big fan though of that cinematic they just did. Where where you got the last of the sunshine in there, and you melted the big ice block that had the element, and also the Big Octorok.
And then he sucked in, which we'll go get from him here in a second. But we actually got to do some backtracking. There's two chests that we can get now with the flame lantern that, because of the way you go through the dungeon, you can't really get it until, I mean, you could get some, a little bit before now, but if you follow a certain sequence, you couldn't really do it until now. So.
Yeah, and honestly, right now, you could have gone straight to the boss fight in that previous room. It's a short detour. It's only a couple minutes
I think these treasure chests are like 200 shells, which are very valuable in the game if you're doing the figurine quest.
As you'll see here in a couple parts, actually.
I think the other one's a red kinstone, if I'm correct.
It is. So they're not like essential or anything like that, but they are handy to get, and we are trying to do a pretty complete walkthrough here, so we figured we don't want to leave treasure chests.
We had a lot of kinstones left over, though. Yeah, like we said, we didn't do all the kinstone fusions. Now, man, here's this lily pad again. That thing is so tedious, man.
I've hated those ever since, what was Deepwood Shrine they made their debut?
Yeah, Deepwood Shrine,
Yeah, just briefly. They weren't in there for a while, but
I just hate how we had to go back to this room to get both treasure chests.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it's so tedious on this lily pad because you got to change directions like 50 times.
Plus, you have the pestos that are dropping stuff on you. I mean, it's just, and you don't have any room to dodge.
Like those blow up like bombs, but like they don't even look like bombs.
No, it looks like they're dropping like itty bitty, because we are Minish size, so it looks like they're dropping little seeds on you or something like that.
That's one thing in this game, like, you know, this and Deepwood Shrine, we were Minish size. I always forget that going through the dungeons.
Yeah, I think they're the only two that we were, if I'm not mistaken.
You do, like you shrink down to Minish, like I think in every dungeon.
Well,
but like, you don't go through the whole dungeon as Minish size.
Yeah. Now that's an interesting point. The dungeons that we actually do the entire thing as a Minish, we never actually shrink and enlarge inside the dungeon itself. We stay
well, then you'd
Minish.
be like a double Minish, and then like the whole time warp continuum would like be messed up and everything.
You would destroy the entire
balance of whatever. You know, I'm not a scientist. You know what I was getting at with it.
Well, I was thinking if you just return to normal size, you destroy the entire Temple of Droplets here.
That's actually a very good idea. If there's a portal in here, we could resize. It'd been done in 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stomp your foot on it and just grab the element.
And I do think that was kind of a nice way to I guess maybe make the dungeon puzzles a little different. Was to have some dungeons where they don't use the Minish ability at all because you're a Minish the whole time.
Well, what I like about Red, me and Red were talking. Red and I were talking before this video, and like one of the things I'll say I don't like is like the bosses, how they're just basically the regular enemies.
Yeah,
like they're just like Big Octorok,
giant size,
and big
Choo-Choo. Yeah,
and like you brought up a good point that we're actually Minish size. And these are just regular enemies we see out on the outside world. Yeah. But they become huge, and so I kind of like the concept that they used right there that I didn't like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, the concept was pretty well done, but I do think it kind of shows a little bit of a lack of imagination or creativity on their part. The concept is good. I'm 100% with you on that, but I just feel like, you know,
I don't know, but it's cool because like it's a regular enemy, but then you see like now it's just huge.
Yeah.
Like so, I mean,
speaking of huge, whoo, there he is.
Like I said, didn't like it 10 minutes ago. I like it a lot now.
It does make more sense. Yeah.
Now this has got to be a female Octorok because are those like flowers on her back or something?
It looks like it. That's what I thought. It looks kind of almost goofy. It's got like ivy or plants there, and then a flower on its tail.
Now I got one thing to say. If you've seen my Ganon fights, those boulders or rocks right there are so much easier to hit back than the light orbs.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I hate those light orbs. I'm horrible at them, and like those boulders are nice. They're big. I'm a fan of those things.
Yeah. What I'm kind of a fan of, and you actually brought this up, and I kind of missed it the first time, is that when you hit him, he freezes this whole area.
Yeah,
And then when you light him and thaw him out, like the entire area becomes water again instead of ice.
Which just goes back and represents the dungeon very well.
Yeah.
Like, the whole combination of water and ice. So yeah, I really, it's probably my favorite part of this boss fight.
Yeah.
It's just the switch between water and ice.
Yeah, I thought, like I said, it's very representative.
It's okay. Like I've never screwed up words either.
But I'll tell you what gave me fits with this boss though, and you actually made it look really easy.
Yep, this time. Well, we were doing a walkthrough. I knew what I was doing this time because, like, the first time I actually had a lot of difficulty on this boss.
Yeah, trying to get around to his tail when he's spinning faster like that was such a pain. But you got him before you even started spinning.
Like, if you kind of go like the opposite way, or kind of get an idea of which way he's turning.
Yeah.
Like, you can get a good start on him, and that really does help out because, yeah, if you get to a part where you like circle him once.
Yep.
I mean, you basically kind of just got to keep on turning around.
Yeah.
If you kind of keep on turning around, you'll get him pretty easily.
Especially when you're on ice in that part. It becomes a real pain to get him.
But to be honest with you, man, he is just really easy. I mean, there's really not many shots that he takes.
No, you only deflect a few of those.
Because we beat him in like, what, 2 or 3 minutes? I mean, it didn't take long at all.
It is kind of cool, like, we finally get this element. I liked how they showed it to us right at the very beginning of the dungeon.
I did too,
And, like,
the water element's also in ice, so, you know, go along with the dungeon.
It feels like quite an accomplishment to finally get it after we got teased early on with it. So.
I agree. But a very good dungeon, really, overall.
I love the theme.
And not being, like, you know, like the X-Files theme, but not being a fan of, like, water and ice dungeons, it was pretty good.
But now that we've knocked it out, this wraps up part 37 of our Minish Cap walkthrough.